This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Hi, it's Cindy Harris, and today's episode I'm going to be showing you my Streusel Pecan muffins. They're great for breakfast. This recipe makes 12 muffins, so we start by getting our muffin pan out and in each well placing one cupcake liner. Now first we're going to start by making our streusel, and to start that, in a medium-sized bowl, get 1 cup of finely chopped pecans, and then to that we're going to add 1/4 cup of white sugar, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Then you're going to want to mix those ingredients together, and then we're going to get 4 tablespoons of melted butter and add that and start stirring that together. Now this streusel is more of a heavy streusel. It's not the kind where we cut the butter in. The butter is what holds all of these dry ingredients together. So it's really important that you mix that together, and you'll notice as you set it to the side, it actually starts to harden up a little bit, and that's okay. Now we're going to get our dry ingredients together for our muffins. So in a little bit larger bowl, we're going to measure out 2 cups of flour, and then for the leavening we're going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 2/3 cup of sugar. Now once you get all those ingredients together, get a little whisk and whisk everything up together. Then it's time to start adding the wet ingredients. We're going to take 1 egg, 1 cup of sour cream, and I'm using a light sour cream. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a spatula. We're going to make a little bit of a well, and we're going to add in 1/3 cup of melted butter. And the reason I make the well is because if the butter is still warm, I don't want to put it on the egg and have the egg start to cook. Now, as you're mixing this batter together, it is a very stiff batter, so don't think about adding more liquid or anything to it. It's supposed to be stiff. In fact, we need it to be stiff so that it can hold this heavy streusel we've made. So now get your prepared muffin well, and we're going to start putting these muffins together. I use my medium-sized cookie scoop, and I start scooping out some of the muffin batter into each of the wells. Now you can see here that when I scoop this batter out, it really holds its shape, and that's okay. So go ahead and we're going to fill each muffin well up with 1 scoop of batter, and then we're going to go and get our streusel, and we're going to put a little bit of streusel on top of each. Now again, you're going to notice that streusel may have sort of hardened up a little bit, and that's okay. We want it to be very, very dense like this. You can just kind of mix it up with your spoon. So then once you get 1 layer of batter and streusel, then we go back and put another layer of batter on top. And we just go right through the line, putting batter on top of each one. And then we go and put the rest of the streusel on the top of that. Now, as I'm putting the streusel on the top, you'll notice I'm using my fingers to kind of press it into the batter, and I really want it to be sort of sunken in just a little bit. That way, when I put these into the oven, and these are going to go into a 350-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, what's going to happen is that streusel is not going to sink to the bottom. It's going to stay right on top, just like this. Now see, if we had had a thinner batter, it wouldn't be able to hold that wonderful streusel topping. The other thing we want to make sure is that we test it with a toothpick. So just pick a muffin and put the toothpick in. If it comes clean, that's great. And then let those sit in the pan for about 5 minutes. And then after about 5 minutes, you can go ahead and pull them out and put them on a cooling rack to cool just a little bit. Now these muffins are great warm. They're also great at room temperature. And when they're totally cooled, you can actually wrap each one up individually and put them in a freezer bag in the freezer and then just pull them out as you need them. Now, if you can see in this top muffin, I've taken the wrapper off of it so that you can really see that level of streusel that runs through the middle of the muffin. You know, having that streusel and that dense batter, we can really see the layers of flavor in this muffin, and that is so yummy. Now, if you'd like to get the recipe for these muffins, just go to our website and go to the Nothin But Muffins show notes. And if you have any questions, send me an email. I'll see you next time.